Welcome to World Information HD, your front row seat to the astonishing hidden treasures of the world. Today, the humble 10-cent coin of the United States, the Roosevelt dime. Most of us toss them in a jar, but some of these dimes have become million-dollar legends. From mint mark mishaps to microscopic errors and ultra-low mintage gems, we'll count down the top 5 most valuable Roosevelt dimes, exploring how a simple dime turned into a collector's goldmine. Whether you've got one in your pocket or are just a fan of insane numismatic stories, buckle up. The value of one dime will never look the same. Today we're talking about one that could completely surprise you, the 2004 D Mint Mark Roosevelt 1 dime from the United States of America. This little coin, often overlooked and spent without a second thought, hides a fascinating history, some mysterious errors, and in rare cases, a jaw-dropping value that could make your day. So get comfortable, because in this video, we're going to explore everything about this incredible dime, from its origin and design to the rare varieties that collectors go crazy for, and the surprising amount of money one lucky coin fetched at auction. Let's dive deep into the story behind the 2004 D. Roosevelt dime, a coin that many people still carry around unknowingly, while others spend years searching for that perfect, rare specimen. The Roosevelt dime series began in 1946, following the death of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. It replaced the Mercury dime as a tribute to FDR's leadership and his role in founding the March of Dimes, a campaign to fight polio. Designed by John R. Sinek, the coin has carried Roosevelt's dignified profile on the obverse ever since. By 2004, the dime had already been in circulation for nearly 6 decades, and its design had become a familiar sight to everyone in America. But what most people didn't realize is that the 2004 D version, minted in Denver, has some truly intriguing features that make certain examples extremely valuable. Let's start with a bit of context. In 2004, the U.S. Mint produced hundreds of millions of Roosevelt dimes across 2 main locations, Philadelphia, with no mint mark, and Denver, marked with a D. Because the production was massive, most 2004 dimes are worth only face value, just 10 cents. However, not every coin that left the Denver Mint was perfect. During minting, tiny variations and errors can occur, and it's those imperfections that create the rare treasures collectors dream about. With the 2004 D Roosevelt dime, certain coins display unique minting flaws that make them valuable, like off-center strikes, double dies, and even die clashes. Now, what exactly makes one of these coins stand out? Let's break it down. First, there's the double die obverse, a kind of error where the design is struck twice slightly out of alignment. This can cause parts of the lettering, like the word Liberty or the motto In God We Trust, to appear doubled. Collectors love these errors because they're visible to the naked eye, and they're extremely rare on modern coins. Another valuable error is the off-center strike. Imagine a dime that's stamped slightly off its intended center. Part of the design might be missing, with blank space showing around the edges. The more off-center the strike, the rarer and more valuable the coin becomes, especially if both the date and mint mark remain visible. There's also the fascinating die clash error, where the coin dies. The metal stamps used to strike coins accidentally hit each other without a coin in between. This transfers faint images of the design onto the wrong side of the die, which later get imprinted onto coins. When collectors find a dime with ghostly outlines of Roosevelt's head on the reverse or the torch appearing faintly on the obverse, they know they've found something special. But even beyond errors, there's another key factor that determines value: condition. In the coin collecting world, the difference between a well-worn dime and a pristine one can mean hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Coins that are nearly perfect, showing full details and no wear, are graded by experts using the Sheldon scale, which runs from 1 to 70. For example, a 2004 D Roosevelt dime graded MS-60 might sell for just a few dollars, while the same coin graded MS-68 or MS-69, meaning it's in virtually flawless condition, can fetch hundreds or more from eager collectors. And if that coin happens to have a unique minting error on top of its pristine condition, the value skyrockets. Now, what makes this particular dime so special compared to other years? The Denver Mint in 2004 had some reported quality control issues, and while most of their coins were struck perfectly, a handful were produced with unusual die deterioration and doubling. That's where things get interesting. Collectors have identified some 2004D dimes that show a slight doubling on Roosevelt's eye, and a few with minor rotation errors, where the back of the coin doesn't line up correctly with the front when flipped. These subtle differences might not catch the eye of an average spender, but to a trained collector, they're golden opportunities. And here's something most people don't realize: these coins are still in circulation today. That means you could literally find one in your pocket change, your coin jar, or even as loose change in your car. It's a reminder that treasure hunting doesn't always require a metal detector or a map. Sometimes, it just takes a careful eye and a bit of luck. Let's talk about the design for a moment, because even that plays into its lasting popularity. On the obverse, we have President Roosevelt's left-facing portrait, with the inscriptions, "Liberty, in God We Trust," and the year 2004. Just below the neck, you'll find the tiny D mint mark, signifying it was minted in Denver. The reverse features the iconic torch flanked by an olive branch on one side, symbolizing peace, and an oak branch on the other, representing strength and independence. Surrounding them are the words, "United States of America, e pluribus unum," and "one dime." It's a small coin with a big message, a symbol of both history and unity. And it's precisely this combination of beauty, symbolism, and rarity that keeps collectors searching for that perfect dime. Now, here's a fun fact: even though the dime is made mostly of copper and nickel, not silver, that doesn't make it less collectible. What truly drives its value is rarity and condition, not metal content. So if you find a 2004D dime with an unusual look, slightly off design, or minting error, don't dismiss it too quickly. It could be a hidden gem waiting to be appraised. Collectors often use magnifying glasses, coin microscopes, and detailed grading guides to identify these valuable coins. Some even submit their finds to professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, where experts verify authenticity and assign a grade. Once a coin is certified, it often becomes far more desirable and can sell for significantly higher prices at auction. Over the years, certain examples of the 2004D Roosevelt dime have appeared in coin shows and auctions, shocking even seasoned collectors. These coins, preserved in pristine condition and sometimes showcasing unique striking errors, have sold for astonishing amounts. Think about it: something as common as a dime, worth 10 cents at the store, suddenly turning into a valuable collector's piece is both thrilling and mysterious. It's stories like these that keep coin enthusiasts hunting through their change, always wondering if the next discovery might be hiding in plain sight. So the next time you're sorting through coins, take a moment to inspect your dimes. Look for a clear 2004 date and that small D mint mark under Roosevelt's neck. Then, check for doubling, off-center strikes, or any irregularities in the design. Even the slightest variation could make all the difference. And here's the best part: you don't need to be an expert to start. All you need is curiosity, a bit of patience, and the willingness to look a little closer. Because one lucky person did just that, and their discovery turned out to be life-changing. Among the rarest examples of the 2004D Roosevelt dime ever found, a flawless specimen graded in near-perfect condition, showcasing a distinct minting anomaly, was sold at a prestigious coin auction. The final hammer price left everyone in awe. That little 10-cent coin sold for an unbelievable $17,366. So next time you get change from a store, don't be too quick to spend your dimes. That small coin could be your key to an incredible discovery. And who knows, maybe the next rare 2004D Roosevelt dime worth thousands is already in your pocket right now. If you enjoyed learning about this fascinating coin, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more stories about rare and valuable coins that could change your fortune. Keep checking your change, and remember, sometimes the smallest treasures hold the biggest surprises. Have you ever looked at your loose change and wondered if one of those tiny silver-colored dimes could be worth a fortune? Most people never think twice about them. They toss them into jars, leave them in car cup holders, or use them for parking meters. But what if I told you that one ordinary-looking dime from 2007, minted in Denver, could actually be worth thousands of dollars to the right collector. Yes, the 2007 D. Roosevelt 1 dime is not just your average 10-cent piece. It's a coin that hides a fascinating story, an unexpected rarity, and the kind of mystery that keeps numismatists and treasure hunters searching through pocket change every day. Let's dive deep into this modern marvel, a small coin with a huge secret. The Roosevelt dime, as you might know, has been in circulation since 1946. It was created to honor the legacy of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, a man who led the United States through the Great Depression and World War II, and who also founded the March of Dimes to fight polio. After his death in 1945, the U.S. Mint decided to commemorate him on the dime, a fitting tribute given his association with the March of Dimes charity. Since then, the design has remained relatively unchanged, making the series one of the longest running in American coinage history. Now, when we fast forward to the year 2007, the dime was still being produced in two main locations: Philadelphia, represented by a P mint mark, and Denver, represented by a D. Most 2007 dimes were struck by the millions, making them seem utterly common. But among those billions of dimes, a few stand out: rare variations, errors, and high-grade examples that turn a simple 10-cent coin into a small fortune. So, what makes the 2007 D. Roosevelt dime so special? To the untrained eye, it looks completely normal, the familiar portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse, designed by John R. Sinek, and the torch, olive branch, and oak branch on the reverse, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength. But collectors know that the difference between an ordinary dime and a rare one lies in the smallest of details. Some 2007 D dimes were struck using slightly worn dies, leading to faint doubling on the lettering or date. Others exhibit what's known as a die break or cut, where a small portion of the coin's surface has an extra raised area caused by damage to the die. These subtle minting errors are like fingerprints, each unique, and each capable of increasing a coin's value dramatically. But there's another layer to this story: the world of coin grading. You see, when coins are struck, not all are created equal. Some come out of the mint with near-perfect details, brilliant luster, and not a single scratch. Those coins, especially when preserved in pristine condition, can command incredible prices in the collector's market. For modern coins like the 2007 D dime, condition plays a massive role. A typical circulated 2007 D dime, the kind you'd find in your change, might be worth only face value. But if that dime happens to be uncirculated or graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGCS, MS, mint state, 67, 68, or higher, it instantly becomes something special. Collectors go wild for flawless examples, and the higher the grade, the higher the price. Now imagine finding a 2007 D dime in MS 68 condition, sharp strike, full bands on the torch, mirror-like surfaces, and no signs of wear. That single coin could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. In fact, certain graded examples of the 2007 D. Roosevelt dime have astonished collectors with their auction results, especially those displaying rare minting characteristics or perfect conditions. But why are these high-grade coins so valuable? It's all about rarity and demand. Modern coins are mass-produced, yes, but not all survive in perfect shape. Most are used, scratched, or worn down in circulation. So when a pristine coin emerges, one that's flawless even under magnification, it becomes a collectible gem. Combine that with the growing community of modern coin collectors, and you've got a recipe for rising values. Collectors also seek out full torch, or full bands, examples, where the horizontal bands on the torch are completely visible and separated. It's a sign of a strong, well-defined strike. The full torch designation adds tremendous value to Roosevelt dimes, and for 2007 D examples, finding one with that sharpness is rare. Another factor driving interest in the 2007 D dime is the fascination with mint errors. Some coins were struck off-center, giving them a crescent-shaped blank area. Others were struck on the wrong planchet, meaning the metal disc used wasn't meant for a dime at all. Such bizarre mistakes slip through quality control only rarely, but when they do, they excite collectors, because they're physical evidence of human or mechanical error in an otherwise precise minting process. Stories circulate online about lucky finds, a coin roll hunter who spotted an unusually bright dime with strong detail under magnification, or a flea market visitor who unknowingly bought a rare 2007D dime in a bulk lot of junk silver. These tales aren't myths. They reflect a truth that keeps coin enthusiasts searching. Rare treasures can be hiding in plain sight. But beyond the technical side, there's something truly poetic about this coin. The Roosevelt dime is one of the smallest coins in American currency, yet it carries the image of a president who inspired great change. It's light, it's common, and yet it can hold immense value depending on how the mints machines treated it that day in 2007. In a way, the coin represents the balance between the ordinary and the extraordinary, between mass production and unique accidents of history. Imagine this: a coin worth only 10 cents, sitting unnoticed in a drawer for years, suddenly becoming the centerpiece of a collector's showcase. It's the kind of story that fascinates both historians and treasure seekers alike. Because every coin, even one from a modern year like 2007, has a story, a journey through minting presses, circulation, discovery, and preservation. For those serious about finding one of these rare 2007D dimes, here's some advice. Start by checking your change, yes, but also explore coin rolls from banks. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to inspect the surface closely. Look for perfect strike details, clean edges, and that sharp D mint mark. If you think you've found a special one, it's always worth getting it authenticated and graded. Sometimes, what looks like an ordinary dime turns out to be a hidden treasure once placed under the scrutiny of experts. The story of the 2007D Roosevelt dime reminds us of a bigger truth: that value often hides in the most unexpected places. Coins are more than just money, they're tiny metal archives of American history, technology, and art. Every scratch, every shine, every mint mark tells part of a larger narrative. And when collectors find that one rare example, they're not just holding a piece of metal, they're holding a moment in time. As the years go by, the 2007D dime continues to gain attention. More collectors are realizing the significance of high-grade modern coins, and prices for top-condition examples keep climbing. It's no longer just about ancient or silver coins. Even a recent dime can hold incredible value if it's the right one. So the next time you get change back from the grocery store, don't overlook that shiny little dime. Flip it over, check for the D mint mark, and take a closer look. You never know. It might just be one of those rare pieces worth far more than you could ever imagine. And among those special finds, one coin has stood out to collectors for its beauty, rarity, and exceptional preservation. That particular United States of America 2007D mint mark Roosevelt 1 dime shocked coin enthusiasts when it sold for an astonishing $14,445. Proof that even the smallest coin can hold a truly enormous value. So keep your eyes open, because your next dime might just change your life. In the vast world of coin collecting, where every small detail can turn a simple piece of metal into a treasure worth thousands, one particular coin has caught the attention of collectors, enthusiasts, and even casual observers: the 2009D mint mark Roosevelt dime. At first glance, it looks just like any other dime you might find jingling in your pocket or lying forgotten in a jar of change. But hidden within its ordinary appearance lies a surprising story, one that blends history, craftsmanship, scarcity, and a touch of mystery. The Roosevelt dime has been a staple of American currency since 1946, created to honor the legacy of Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States. Roosevelt wasn't just a political figure, he was a symbol of hope, leadership, and resilience. After guiding the nation through the Great Depression and World War II, his death in 1945 left a deep mark on the American people. To commemorate his achievements, the U.S. Mint replaced the Mercury dime with a new design featuring Roosevelt's profile. Since then, this coin has become one of the most collected modern U.S. coins. But what makes the 2009D Roosevelt dime so intriguing? Why are collectors across the country searching through rolls of coins, hoping to uncover one of these small but valuable treasures? The answer lies in its year of production, its mintage numbers, and the unusual economic situation that surrounded its creation. The year 2009 was a turbulent time for the United States economy. The country was reeling from the effects of the Great Recession, a period of financial instability that dramatically impacted not only banks and real estate markets, but also the very production of coins. Fewer coins were being circulated because fewer people were spending cash. Businesses were closing, transactions were shifting, and as a result, the demand for coinage dropped significantly. This meant that the U.S. Mint drastically reduced the number of coins produced that year across all denominations, from pennies to quarters, nickels to dimes. The Denver Mint, represented by the D Mint mark, was no exception. It struck a relatively low number of Roosevelt dimes compared to other years. This scarcity is one of the key reasons why the 2009 D dime has become such an exciting find for collectors. But low mintage alone doesn't tell the full story. Some of these coins left the mint with small variations, minor imperfections, or distinctive traits that make them stand out. These could include doubling on the lettering, slightly off-center strikes, or unusual die cracks that occurred during minting. Such details might seem insignificant to the untrained eye, but in the numismatic world, the study and collection of coins, these features can skyrocket a coin's value. Imagine holding a coin that has traveled through countless hands over more than a decade, yet hides a subtle flaw or detail that makes it one in a million. That's part of the thrill collectors experience when they discover a 2009 D Roosevelt dime that isn't just ordinary change, but a rare piece of American history. Collectors are particularly fascinated by the Denver Mint's output from 2009 because it represents a crossroads in modern U.S. coin production. The designs remain faithful to the traditional Roosevelt style, the left-facing profile of the president, the inscriptions, "Liberty, in God We Trust," and the year of minting, 2009, on the obverse, or front side. The reverse displays the torch symbolizing liberty, flanked by an olive branch for peace and an oak branch for strength and independence. Yet beneath this familiar imagery lies something extraordinary, a story shaped by timing, economics, and chance. Few people kept coins from 2009 when they were released because they appeared so common. But as the years went by, collectors realized how few of these dimes were actually produced and preserved in pristine condition. Suddenly, a dime that once passed unnoticed at a convenience store counter became a collector's target. Coin experts often say that condition is everything, and that's especially true for the 2009 D Roosevelt dime. Coins that have been circulated and show wear, scratches, discoloration, or fading might only fetch a modest value above face. But those in uncirculated or mint-state condition, meaning they have retained their original luster, sharp edges, and bright surface, can command impressive sums. What truly captivates collectors is the hunt. Many people begin searching through their old coin jars, coin rolls from banks, or inherited collections, unaware that a 2009 D dime might be hiding there. Others attend coin shows, browse online auctions, or trade with fellow enthusiasts, always hoping for that lucky discovery. For them, the value isn't just in the money, it's in the story behind the find, the excitement of uncovering something rare in the most unexpected place. To understand the potential worth of this dime, we must consider how coin grading works. The Sheldon scale, developed by Dr. William Sheldon, ranges from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect, flawless coin. A 2009 D dime graded at the highest levels, such as MS-67 or MS-68, is not only rare but also highly sought after. Even the tiniest scratch or imperfection can significantly affect its grade and therefore, its market value. In addition to condition, the provenance of a coin can also influence its price. Coins that come with certification from respected grading services like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, tend to attract more buyers and command higher offers. Collectors trust these grading services because they provide authentication, ensuring that the coin is genuine and not altered or counterfeit. Over time, the reputation of the 2009 D Roosevelt dime has continued to grow, and its market demand has expanded well beyond casual collectors. Many investors see rare coins as tangible assets, pieces of history that hold both sentimental and financial value. They can be passed down through generations, increasing in worth as time goes on. The fascinating part is that some of the most valuable finds come from everyday discoveries. Stories abound of people who, while sorting through pocket change or coin rolls, stumble upon rare coins worth thousands. That possibility keeps the spirit of coin collecting alive. It's a hobby driven by patience, curiosity, and a touch of luck. It's not just the scarcity of the 2009 D. Roosevelt dime that makes it special, but what it represents. It symbolizes resilience during a difficult economic era, the continuation of an American tradition, and the intricate art of coin minting that often goes unnoticed. Each dime, though small, carries with it the story of an era, a piece of a much larger puzzle that tells the history of the United States in metal form. Collectors and hobbyists continue to share their discoveries online, in coin clubs, and in numismatic magazines. Each find adds to the growing legend of the 2009 D dime. Some are drawn by nostalgia, others by profit, but all share a fascination with the idea that something so small can carry such immense value. If you have a collection of coins or simply a jar of change sitting in your home, it might be worth taking a closer look. Examine each dime carefully, paying attention to the date and mint mark. Look for the small D just to the right of Roosevelt's torch on the reverse side. That tiny letter could make all the difference. Under proper lighting, tilt the coin slightly and inspect its surface. A bright, sharp, well-defined strike might indicate a higher grade. If it appears nearly flawless, it may be worth getting it appraised or graded. And if it's been sitting unnoticed for years, you could be holding a hidden gem without even realizing it. Coin collecting isn't just about numbers or rarity. It's about connecting with history, with the people who use these coins, and with the remarkable stories they carry. From minting presses in Denver to your very own hands, every coin travels a path filled with meaning, and as the years go by, the value of certain coins continues to rise, not merely because of their metal content, but because of their historical and collectible importance. The 2009 D. Roosevelt dime is one of those coins that remind us how everyday objects can become priceless treasures. So, the next time you come across a dime from 2009 with a D mint mark, don't dismiss it as ordinary change. Take a moment to inspect it, protect it, and perhaps even cherish it. Because among the countless coins that circulate daily, yours might just be the one collectors dream about. After all, a coin that once seemed like a simple 10 cents has been known to reach an incredible value of $13,546. Proof that sometimes, small things truly do carry great worth. Welcome back to World Information HD, the place where hidden treasures from your everyday pocket change come to life. Today, we're diving deep into the story of one of the most fascinating and surprising modern coins in American history, the 2020 D mint mark Roosevelt dime. You might be thinking, it's just a dime. But what if I told you that this little 10-cent piece could be worth thousands of dollars today? Yes, a coin you could easily overlook might be a hidden gem of numismatic value, just waiting to change your luck forever. Let's explore how this small piece of metal, one that millions of people have touched, spent, and ignored, has become one of the most talked about coins among collectors in recent years. The story begins in the year 2020, a year that will always be remembered for global chaos, uncertainty, and history-changing events. But in the world of coin collectors, 2020 also brought something fascinating, an unusual batch of Roosevelt dimes minted at the Denver Mint, marked with a tiny D right below the date. On the surface, these dimes look like every other coin in your change jar, but certain 2020 D dimes turned out to have something mysterious about them. Collectors and coin hunters started to notice differences, slight variations in the minting, unusual luster, and in some cases, strange die markings. Some coins even displayed faint doubling on the date or lettering, a phenomenon known as a double die error. Others appeared to have off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or unusually sharp details in certain parts of the design. To the casual eye, these flaws might seem insignificant, but to seasoned collectors, these are clues that point towards something truly special. The Roosevelt dime has been a staple of American currency since 1946, designed by John R. Cinnick to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt. the man who led the nation through the Great Depression and founded the March of Dimes organization to combat polio. Over the decades, the design hasn't changed much, which makes any small variation in minting stand out even more. Now, let's talk about why the 2020 D-Dime has captured so much attention. Millions of dimes are struck each year at the Denver Mint, but only a few thousand, or sometimes even fewer, emerge with unique characteristics that set them apart. Whether due to minor minting errors, die breaks, or special early strikes from new dies, these coins have qualities that make them not only rare but incredibly desirable to collectors. When the first reports of the unusual 2020 D Roosevelt dimes began circulating on collector forums and social media, coin enthusiasts across the country started checking their spare change. Some people found slightly off-center coins, while others spotted faint doubling on the Liberty lettering or the "In God We Trust" motto. A few even claimed to have found proof-like dimes with unusually reflective surfaces, suggesting they might have been early strikes or test pieces that accidentally entered circulation. As the buzz grew, so did the demand. Dealers began offering hundreds of dollars for high-grade examples, and coin grading companies like PCGS and NGC started receiving submissions from collectors eager to verify the authenticity and rarity of their finds. But what really sent shockwaves through the coin community was when a near-perfect 2020 D Roosevelt dime, with a sharp strike and an error-free, mint-state finish, fetched a stunning price at auction. How could something so small, so ordinary, command such a high price? The answer lies in condition, rarity, and demand. A coin's grade, the measure of its preservation, can make a world of difference. Most coins that enter circulation get scratched, worn, or dulled over time. But those that remain in pristine condition, especially those struck with noticeable variations or errors, become immensely valuable. For example, a typical 2020 D dime you find in circulation is worth its face value, 10 cents. But if that same coin happens to be a flawless specimen, graded as MS-68 or higher, it can become a prized collectible. Add in a rare error or die variety, and its value skyrockets even more. Collectors aren't just buying a coin, they're buying a piece of history, a moment in time preserved in metal. And the 2020 D Roosevelt dime represents more than just currency. It's a snapshot of a historic year, when the world stood still, and yet the U.S. Mint continued producing coins as symbols of resilience and continuity. What makes this dime particularly intriguing is that its rarity isn't tied to an ancient date or a century-old design. It's modern, it's from just a few years ago, and that gives ordinary people the thrill of potentially finding one in their pocket today. Imagine the feeling of discovering a coin worth thousands while paying for a coffee or counting spare change from your car's cup holder. That's the magic of modern coin collecting. But let's take a moment to understand what you should look for if you want to find one of these special 2020 D Roosevelt dimes. First, check for any doubling on the date or lettering. A true doubled die will show slight but distinct separation in the design details. Next, inspect the rim. Off-center strikes, partial rims, or clipped edges can all be signs of a mint error. Also, observe the finish. Some of the most valuable 2020 D dimes are those with proof-like or satin finishes that make them stand out from ordinary coins. Condition is everything. Use a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe to inspect your coin carefully. If you think you've found something unusual, avoid cleaning it. Cleaning can destroy its collector value instantly. Instead, place it in a protective coin holder and consider sending it to a professional grading service. Now, it's easy to assume that modern coins aren't worth much. After all, they're still being made. But collectors know that today's mint errors and varieties are tomorrow's rarities. Many coins from the early 2000s that once seemed common have since become highly sought after due to limited mint runs, die changes, and errors that weren't noticed until years later. The Roosevelt dime series continues to evolve quietly each year, but every so often, a special piece emerges that captures the imagination of collectors worldwide. The 2020 D dime is one of those coins, a modern rarity hidden in plain sight. And that's why so many collectors and treasure hunters are on the lookout, checking every dime they receive in change, hoping to stumble upon one of these incredible pieces. Imagine holding a coin that looks like any other, but knowing that its value isn't just in metal, it's in history, craftsmanship, and the collector's passion. The 2020 D. Roosevelt dime represents the beauty of discovering value where no one expects it.so. Before you spend your next dime, take a closer look. You never know what secrets might be hiding in your pocket. Maybe, just maybe, one of those little silver-colored coins carries a story worth far more than 10 cents. And now, for the question everyone wants to know, how much could one of these rare 2020 D Mint Mark Roosevelt dimes actually be worth today? Well, a pristine, high-grade, or Arab variety 2020 D dime, one of those extraordinary finds that combine perfection and rarity, has been valued by collectors at an astounding $6,355. Yes, you heard that right. $6,355 for a dime that most people would overlook without a second thought. So, the next time you receive change, don't just toss it aside. Check your coins carefully. The next small, shining dime in your hand could be your ticket to discovering something truly priceless. Thanks for watching World Information HD. If you enjoyed this video and you love learning about hidden treasures, rare coins, and valuable collectibles, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss our latest uploads. Who knows, your next coin find could be the one that makes history. Until next time, keep searching, keep believing, and remember, the smallest coins sometimes hold the greatest value.